There is a moment in the African savanna that lasts less than a second. A young wildebeest freezes. Its legs are still too new for the world they were born into. The muscles exist. The instinct exists. But experience does not. 50 meters away, hidden inside grass that moves almost imperceptibly in the wind, a lioness watches. Nothing dramatic happens. No roar, no warning, just observation. The lioness lowers her head slightly. The calf shifts its weight. And in that silent exchange, one of the oldest questions in nature emerges. Does she know, does she understand that this is a child, or does she simply see something easier to catch? Most people assume the answer is obvious. A predator sees a baby animal and consciously recognizes it as a baby. Something small, something young, something vulnerable, something that has parents, something that has barely begun its life. But nature has a habit of dismantling human assumptions because the deeper scientists looked into predator behavior, the stranger the question became. The lioness almost certainly knows something, but what she knows may be radically different from what we imagine. To understand why, we have to leave the hunt for a moment and enter a world that existed long before language, morality, empathy, or even thought itself. A world built entirely from survival. Hundreds of millions of years before humans began asking philosophical questions, life was already solving practical ones. Find food, avoid becoming food, reproduce, repeat. Every creature alive today is descended from organisms that succeeded at those tasks. Nothing else survived long enough to leave descendants. And over immense stretches of evolutionary time, predators began noticing patterns. Not consciously at first, not through reasoning, but through selection, generation after generation. A predator that chased the strongest adults wasted energy. A predator that targeted the weak often ate. The difference sounds simple, but across millions of years, it became written into nervous systems themselves. Researchers studying wolves, lions, cheetahs, and many other predators noticed something remarkable. Predators frequently focus on individuals that move differently. Those that hesitate, those that separate from the group, those whose bodies reveal weakness. And young animals often display all three, not because they are babies, but because they are inexperienced. The distinction is subtle, yet it changes everything. Most people imagine predators identifying age. The evidence suggests many predators are identifying opportunity. The lioness may not be thinking, that is a child. She may be detecting something far older and more primitive, an anomaly, a weakness, a probability, a future meal. And suddenly the hunt becomes far less emotional than humans imagine, yet somehow more unsettling. Because nature does not necessarily require understanding to produce outcomes that appear intelligent. A spider does not understand architecture, yet it builds structures that resemble engineering. A migrating bird does not understand geography, yet it crosses continents with astonishing precision. And a predator may not understand childhood, yet it consistently finds the young. The result looks like knowledge. The mechanism may be something else entirely. Researchers observe this repeatedly with newborn ungulates, young seals, juvenile birds, fawns, calves, and lambs. Again and again, predators disproportionately target them, not because they possess a human concept of infancy, but because evolution has spent millions of years refining sensitivity to vulnerability. The predator does not need philosophy. The predator needs success. And vulnerability leaves signatures. Small size, unsteady movement, delayed reactions, poor coordination, and predictable mistakes. Nature broadcasts these signals constantly, and predators learn to read them, some through instinct, some through experience, and often through both. But then something unexpected appears, something that complicates the story. Because there are moments when predators seem to recognize far more than vulnerability. There are documented cases of lions adopting antelope calves, leopards protecting infant monkeys, dolphins supporting injured young of other species, and even crocodiles carrying hatchlings gently between their jaws. These events are rare, extraordinarily rare, yet they exist, and they create a disturbing tension. If predators only perceive prey as moving meat, Why do these exceptions occur at all? Scientists still debate the answer. Some believe parental instincts occasionally misfire. Others suspect certain visual and behavioral cues activate caregiving circuits regardless of species. Large eyes, small bodies, infant vocalizations, characteristics that trigger ancient nurturing responses. For brief moments, the predator's brain may classify the creature differently, not as prey, not as food, but as something resembling its own young. And suddenly the boundary between hunter and caregiver becomes less stable than we thought. The same lioness capable of killing a calf may, under different circumstances, display tenderness toward another, not because morality has entered the equation, but because evolution itself contains competing instructions. Feed, protect, hunt, nurture, survive. No single command fully controls the animal, and perhaps that realization is more unsettling than the hunt itself. Because humans often divide the natural world into categories: predator, prey, victim, hunter, good, bad. Nature recognizes none of these. It recognizes only relationships, energy moving through systems, life feeding life, patterns repeating. The young wildebeest calf does not experience this as philosophy. It experiences it as danger. The lioness does not experience it as tragedy. She experiences it as necessity. Both are participating in processes older than memory itself, processes that shaped every nervous system on Earth, including ours. Because humans like to imagine we stand outside these forces. We don't. We are products of the same evolutionary machinery. We notice weakness. We react to infant faces. We protect children. We calculate risk. We read body language. Different expressions. The same ancient foundations. The distance between ourselves and the lioness is smaller than it first appears, and that may be the deepest answer to the question, does the predator know it is hunting a baby? Perhaps not in the way humans know. Not with language, not with abstract concepts of childhood, not with moral awareness. But it knows something written into perception long before thought existed. It recognizes vulnerability, potential, opportunity, the signals of a life that has not yet mastered survival. And in the wild, that distinction can mean everything. As evening settles across the savannah, the calf remains surrounded by dangers it cannot fully understand. The lioness remains guided by instincts she cannot explain. Neither knows they are participating in a story humans will someday analyze. Neither understands evolution or ecology or philosophy. They simply move, one trying to stay alive, the other trying to remain alive. And perhaps that is the final discomfort hidden beneath the question. Nature does not separate innocence from necessity. Only humans do. The lioness sees movement. The calf sees danger. And somewhere between those two perceptions lies a truth older than morality itself, that life often recognizes vulnerability long before it understands what vulnerability means.